Urban Nights Update is next. Coming up, the drones causing problems in the skies and what drone owners need to know.
The newest way to get around traffic that's fast and inexpensive.
We'll take a look in a non-traditional sports competition where computer mastery counts and you don't even have to leave your seat.
And the heartwarming story of pets finding new homes after tragedy. All that and more next on Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update.
Hi, and welcome to Urban Nights Update. Isaac Bauer is sitting in with me, and I'm Luke Lacey. Here's what we're working on. As of early this week, Northern California fires have scorched nearly 200,000 acres. The death toll is now up to 40, and the fires are still not fully contained. Officials say serious progress is being made. Even if the fires were to stop right now, this would already be the most devastating wildfire in United States history. CAL FIRE is reporting that an estimated 57,000 structures have burned and that thousands of people are homeless. Rain, predicted later in the week, will be welcome relief to help stem the fires.
The efforts to stop the fires in Napa and Sonoma counties are underway, but are running into some unlikely challenges. Drones hovering in the Petaluma area have actually caused delays in firefighting activity. On Sunday, the Petaluma Police Department sighted a drone flying over the Petaluma Airport, which has become restricted airspace due to the fires. California Highway Patrol issued a statement on Sunday regarding the drones, saying land them if you want these fires out. As the average consumer continues to be mesmerized by the use of drones, little do they know the potential fines that could come from using them in unauthorized areas. In San Francisco, Jackson Murphy has a story.
What better way is there to see the city than from an aerial view? There are only two ways to see the city like this. One is from an aircraft, and the other is from an unmanned aerial system, also known as a UAS or drone. As drones continue to become more affordable and more appealing to consumers each year, most hobbyist drone operators do not know the regulations, responsibilities, and potential consequences that go along with flying drones.
The Federal Aviation Administration and UAS manufacturers are working together on these minimum operational performance standards, regulations, operational roles, so that step by step they can begin integrating UAS more and more into the national airspace system. But through every step, safety is the key factor. So whenever there's a restrictive regulation or limitation on what you can do, it's because safety is at play.
I'm standing in the middle of San Francisco's Union Square, and while this may potentially be a great place to get some aerial footage, it's not a safe place to fly because of all the people. The operator could be faced with thousands of dollars worth of fines and potentially even prison time.
All right, well, yeah, I think it's a little bit of an issue. I mean, people go out to Best Buy, buy a drone, go fly it around, and they don't really know that they can get in trouble. Best thing to do is go on the FAA website, look for UAS, and learn. They have a section that says no before you fly. And basically you can learn about where you can fly and not get in trouble. You don't want to fly near airports, especially near big airports that have Class B airspace like SFO. You don't want to fly at stadiums or other places where there are big groups of people, because if you crash, you could hit somebody and you could be liable.
For more information, you can check out faa.gov/UAS and also knowbeforeyoufly.org. In San Francisco, I'm Jackson Murphy with your...
Be sure to use the free tools provided by the government to stay educated on all drone laws and regulations.
On Thursday, a drone struck 8-passenger aircraft in Quebec, Canada. The flight was preparing to land at Jean-Lesage International Airport when it was hit by a drone. Since drones have become much more common, there has been an increase in reports of unmanned aircraft endangering planes. The drone was reported to have been flying 150 meters over regulation. Luckily, the collision only caused minor damage and the plane was able to land safely. An Indonesia Air flight experienced quite the shock Sunday when the plane almost fell out of the sky. The cabin lost pressure and suddenly panic ensued when the plane dropped over 20,000 feet in mere minutes. Passengers say the flight crew only increased tensions by screaming and crying. All passengers touched down safely after an emergency landing in Perth, Australia. However, authorities are looking into the actions by crew members.
October has become known for Fleet Week in the Bay Area. That's when the parade of ships come into the bay and the Blue Angels roar through the skies. Our own Jackson Murphy was there to witness this year's event.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Well, kind of. It's the Blue Angels. Once a year, these beautifully terrifying aeronautical creations of perfection come to San Francisco for a celebration. This celebration is called Fleet Week. What exactly are we honoring?
Fleet Week is one of America's greatest celebration events. Not only is it an event where families can come out for a fun time, see death-defying stunts, but also give the respect to the men and women in our service. And it's just a great tradition overall. It's been around for 80 plus years. I came all the way from San Diego just to come see this and pay my respects for this great country.
While Fleet Week might only appear to be an air show on steroids, the men and women of the United States Armed Forces actually hope to accomplish more with this event than meets the eye of majority of civilians.
For me, it means educating the populace and building that camaraderie between not only us as military and the different jobs that we do, but building a relationship between the community and the military. So it actually gives us a chance to educate people, because you see a lot of people that end up being protesting the military, and this gives us a chance to let them know, hey, we have other capabilities besides just going out and war fighting. We can actually provide assistance to the populace.
Fleet Week San Francisco is a free event that happens every year in early October. If you haven't been out to experience this event for yourself, make sure not to miss it next year. For more information on Fleet Week SF, you can visit www.fleetweeksf.org. In San Francisco, I'm Jackson Murphy with your Urban Nights Update.
Fleet Week has been happening in San Francisco for 36 years now.
More setbacks for the 2-mile Van Ness bus lane. The project has been delayed another 6 months and is not expected to debut until mid-2020s. The delay comes from an increase in wet weather since the project started. If those issues weren't bad enough, the project has also skyrocketed in costs. Initial estimates project costs at $189 million. Now the city is estimating a total cost of $316 million. If you're searching for an alternative commuting options, it might be time to look into private transportation. One option boasts the most energy-efficient vehicles on the planet, electric scooters. Brett Beauvais gives you the details.
Electric vehicles for everyone. That's the mission statement of the new transportation app called Scoot.
This is one of many Scoot garages found all over the city of San Francisco. It's as easy as opening the app and hopping on.
Mike Molesky has been using Scoot for over a year. He uses it to travel the city and most other transportation needs.
I like using Scoot because it's really convenient and easy to use, and I can just pick one up on the street, head to where I want to go, and travel around the city however I like.
After watching the 15-minute safety tutorial video, the user is approved to Scoot. Rides start at $3 every half hour, maxing out at $24. Erica Cato is deputy spokesperson for SMTA, who works closely with Scoot.
So we're all about giving options, and this is a very attractive option to a lot of commuters around San Francisco. We are constantly making improvements to the Muni system. However, Muni doesn't necessarily work for everyone, and Scoot has really found its own niche market, and a lot of riders do prefer using Scoot, and we find Scoot to be way more sustainable and have a better impact on congestion for San Francisco.
Not only do Scoots help with traffic, they help save the planet. Scoots are the most energy-efficient motor vehicle in the world, getting 15 miles of riding out of just 1 kilowatt-hour of electricity. As of now, Scoot is only available in the city of San Francisco. Even so, drivers have covered over 3.2 million miles. In San Francisco, Brett Beauvais, Urban Night Update.
Scoot drivers have already covered over 3 million miles in the city of San Francisco alone.
Colin Kaepernick, the free agent quarterback at the center of the NFL protest, has filed a grievance against the NFL. Kaepernick believes that the NFL and its owners colluded against him and wrongfully deprived him of employment. The once sensational quarterback gained national attention in 2016 season when he knelt during the national anthem to protest social injustice. The 49ers released him at the end of last season, and he has not been picked up by any other team since then. We are entering Week 6 in the NFL, and players continue to kneel during the national anthem. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell sent an email out to team owners suggesting a possible rule change that would force all players to stand during the playing of the anthem. The email received attention as President Trump tweeted out that it is about time Roger Goodell did something about the NFL protest. The president has changed the narrative for the original intent of kneeling during the national anthem and has interpreted it to convey an anti-patriotic, anti-military action.
The hashtag #MeToo is growing viral after actress Alyssa Milano tweeted asking victims of sexual harassment to reply "Me Too" on their social media accounts. So far, there have been over 45,000 responses. This all follows recent accusations of Harvey Weinstein's sexual predator activity. TV journalist Gretchen Carson said that it's not just the actors affected. There have been stories of thousands of women who've lost their jobs for speaking out against harassment. Due to a hepatitis A outbreak, California Governor Jerry Brown declares a state of emergency after the death toll has now reached 18 people in San Diego. There has been 576 cases throughout California and 386 people have been hospitalized. More than 81,000 vaccine doses have been distributed since the start of the outbreak in March. This is the largest person-to-person hepatitis A outbreak in the U.S. history since 1996.
It's no surprise that American adults are getting heavier and heavier, and new numbers from the National Center for Health Statistics prove it. The United States has had a 30% increase in adult obesity and 33% increase among children since the year 2000. Implemented policies such as raising soda tax and nutrition assistance programs are the main efforts to reduce these rates. Families are being encouraged to plan healthy meals together and activities to support one another towards a healthier lifestyle. English hospitals are taking steps to promote healthy eating and good health in that country. They have decided to banish supersized chocolate bars from the hospital shops, canteens, and vending machines in response to obesity, diabetes, and tooth decay. Sweets sold in the hospital are to be 250 calories or less, and even prepackaged meals must also have no more than 5 grams of saturated fat per serving. Healthy eating and access to food have become a mission for a church in the East Bay. Brianna Keys has the story.
Kingdom Builders Christian Fellowship is a church that's in the heart of East Oakland that makes sure that they never miss a beat when it comes to their community. Every Thursday, Kingdom Builders has a food giveaway from 11 to 2 o'clock, feeding any family that's in need. The church transforms their parking lot into your average farmer's market, giving you all the food that you can think of. Members and volunteers here know that what they're doing is bigger than them.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. I see gratitude. I see the sense of need, and the reason why we're all out here is to fill in the gap that is missing in our society, and that is everybody having a fresh meal to eat.
And the families of East Oakland are so grateful for this ministry.
You're so welcome. Have a great day. For me to pick out a certain amount of pieces that I want instead of being just distributed like one item, I mean that's really good. And just make my family. I'm more appreciative for my family. I can cook more fresh food.
As you can see with all this food that I have at Kingdom Builders, on average, they supply between $200 and $400 worth of food for free to all these people in the community. Kingdom Builders Christian Fellowship is truly a 24-hour ministry committed to building this community, the church that never sleeps. I'm Brianna Keys in Oakland, and this is your Urban Nights Update.
The food distributed at the church originally comes from the Alameda County Food Bank.
For all you need to know in sports, here's Marciano Reichel with more.
The Green Bay Packers lost their star quarterback in Aaron Rodgers to what could be called a dirty play. As the play took place in the first quarter, Rodgers dropped back and was tackled by Minnesota Vikings D-line Anthony Barr and resulted in him landing on his collarbone and fracturing it. It's looking like he is out for the rest of the season and can hurt the Packers' playoff chances. Also, to those fantasy owners that drafted Rodgers, it's now time to make a big-time trade or hope that your other quarterback is going to stand out for the rest of the year. The highly anticipated NBA season begins October 17th, with one of the big games being the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Boston Celtics. And this will be an intense game as one of the biggest blockbuster trades in NBA history involved the two teams trading Isaiah Thomas for Kyrie Irving during the offseason. The next matchup being between the reigning NBA champs, the Golden State Warriors, against the new and improved Houston Rockets. It's looking like a good season ahead, with many teams having a chance at raising the Larry O'Brien Trophy in June. It's the middle of October. In baseball terms, it's the final push towards the World Series ring. The last four teams that are battling it out in their respective leagues, with the New York Yankees playing the Houston Astros and the Chicago Cubs playing the Los Angeles Dodgers. It may seem lopsided with the Dodgers and Astros having a 2-0 lead, but can't leave out the Cubs and the Yankees as the series heads to Yankees and Cubs Stadium. Who knows, maybe the home field advantage will help them out with getting back into the series. Kendall Brown joins us with the new athletic director of Academy of Art.
Thank you, Marciano. I am here with the new athletic director, Brad Jones. Welcome.
Thank you, Kendall. Glad to be here today.
So what made this school such an attractive place to take on the new role as our athletic director?
Sure. My background, I had a lot of familiarity with the Pac-West Conference and ArtU, and you know, the academics here is unique. I love that aspect of it, and the upside to the possibilities of what we can do here is such a young NCAA program is really attractive to me. We're excited, and hopefully we can take this to some new levels here.
Yeah, for sure. So I understand that your previous school, BYU Hawaii's athletics terminated. So what are your feelings about that for yourself personally, and also for the students that will have to find new homes for school, for sports, or in school in general?
Great question, Kendall. You know, it was a tough year. It was very challenging. We knew it was coming. Board of directors had made some decisions for different paths. You know, they're really filling that void right now. And the current president is a big sports guy, so it was a tough decision to follow through on. As far as the student athletes, that was one of our biggest challenges.
Yeah.
We spent last year trying to find balance, having them compete for championships, and they were very successful at that, which we love to see.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, as soon as the season was over, we were trying to help them find homes. The other thing to keep in mind is we had to help find most of our coaches' homes as well.
Wow.
I feel like we were very successful with that.
Yeah, for sure. So will you continue on with your relationships with your previous students, student athletes at the school, and try to help them out if any way possible?
Always are willing to do that. Obviously within NCAA regulations, however,
sure.
But I have a dear place in my heart for all those student athletes, and I'm building that here, and always happy to help in any way.
So speaking on those NCAA regulations and all that, what is your input on the allegations going on with the Louisville, with Rick Pitino and the AD getting fired all over there? What do you think about all that?
You know, it's AD and a coach's worst nightmare to have the NCAA in your office when you walk in the morning. I can only imagine what it'd be like to have the FBI sitting there.
Yeah.
Something I never want to experience. You know, there's been a lot of corruption, especially Division I basketball, for a long time. I've been very intimately involved with men's basketball at Division I. It's time. It's time. I look at it as a whole new level of investigations, obviously with jail time and other things, but hopefully it will clean it up and take some steps to really make it all that it should be.
So I'm a basketball guy. I'm a shooting guard here at the Academy. I wanted to get your input on who you think will be the champions this year in the NBA season, and who's your team?
Well, my team is, and I will always be, the Utah Jazz. I grew up with them. I love them, but had a chance. We hosted Steph Curry over at BYU Hawaii for a week-long camp, and he really won me over. So I am a perfect marriage of us and cheering on the Warriors. So hopefully they'll pull it out.
Well, thanks for your interview. Thank you.
Thank you, Kendall. Appreciate being here.
Thanks, Brad and Kendall. That is it for this edition of Sports. Join us next time.
You know the age-old argument debating whether or not chess is a sport? Well, the new debate is whether or not video games are a sport. Brett Beauvais brings you the story.
Just keep hitting him. Nice. Hey, the cheese. I told you that's all they had.
Esports, also known as electronic sports, is a new type of competition, not played with a ball or a net, but with a mouse or a controller. These competitions have been around for as long as video games have existed, but only recently have they gained huge global popularity. This comes mostly due to streaming services such as Twitch, where viewers can tune in live to watch these esports tournaments. In fact, in 2015, esports generated over $320 million of revenue, and the global audience was 225 million viewers.
League of Legends is by far the most popular esports game. It's what's known as a MOBA, or a multiplayer online battle arena, where teams of 5 battle against each other to destroy the opponent's base.
Abelardo is an esports enthusiast who recently played in an event held by Academy of Art University.
The gaming community is growing, as we know, and it's getting bigger, so I'm pretty sure it's going to go somewhere, really go live on TV or go more. But it's got potential of growing. I don't think it's ever going to stop. I think it's just going to grow more.
Carlos Ruiz is head of esports at the Academy of Art University. He started the program 2 years ago, building it from the ground up.
We had maybe 100 people. We had small LAN party, and that was my highlight. We had 100 people. Right now, there's colleges that actually offer scholarships already, by being really good at the game, and the tournaments give you even more scholarship money. So little by little, things are growing.
If you want to find out if your university has esports, visit www.nacesports.org. In San Francisco, I'm Brett Beauvais for your Urban Nights Update.
17 colleges already have varsity esports teams, with more and more joining every year. And if that's not entertaining enough, here's Jaslyn with the latest music releases, wedding engagements, and more.
Hey guys, welcome to the latest and greatest in your entertainment news. There's a lot to cover this week, so let's get started. All of the recent spotlight has been on singer Sam Smith and his new potential beau, 13 Reasons Why star Brandon Flynn. But in the thrill of it all, Sam has released not only his new album release date, but his upcoming tour schedule as well. Sam Smith's ironically titled new album, The Thrill of It All, is set to release on November 3rd. Fans can pre-order his new music on his official website. Those who do will instantly receive his new song Pray, as well as his lead single Too Good at Goodbyes. But that's not all, folks. Sam has also released the North American dates of the upcoming tour. Tickets are on sale today online. And now, what all of you Game of Thrones fans have been waiting for, or dreading. While Jon Snow's love interest Ygritte may have died in the show, the two Game of Thrones stars' off-screen romance is still very much alive. After Kit Harington and Rose Leslie's wedding engagement was announced, Kit made an appearance on the Jonathan Ross Show, admitting that his actual proposal came a bit earlier than he had planned.
We were in the country and we were sort of under this beautiful night sky and had the log fire burning and red wine. And I kind of blew my load.
Okay, so you may know a little something, Jon Snow. Congrats on finally bending the knee. If you like it, then put a ring on it. And doesn't Joe Jonas know it, taking yet another Game of Thrones star off the market. Their engagement was announced Sunday when the two usually quiet lovebirds took to Instagram with the same exact photo. Sophie Turner, also known as our beloved Sansa Stark, captioned hers, "I said yes," while I'm sure you can guess what his was captioned. The two received all kinds of love from family and friends and lots of jokes from fans on Twitter. But a lot of people were just kind of confused. The couple just got together a little less than a year ago and didn't make their first public appearance until the 2017 Met Gala. Some say they're moving too fast, especially since she's only 21, but the heart wants what the heart wants, and I'd say this is Sansa's most promising fiancé thus far. Now, is it just me, or is your inner 11-year-old debating whether or not to fight Sansa as well? No? Just me? Okay, well, moving on. There's a lot going on this weekend: haunted houses, pumpkin patches, but if you're looking to do something a little more inexpensive, the Wharf Fest is something you don't want to miss. The festival begins at 11 a.m. and ends at 5 p.m. There will be multiple vendors out, and from noon to 3 p.m. there will be a chowder contest held between the surrounding restaurants. If you'd like to participate, go online to eventbrite.com to purchase tickets. If not, go out just to enjoy the scenery and good vibes. Well, that's all we have for today. Remember to tune in next week for your entertainment here on the Urban Nights Update. Unlike Sam Smith, I've never been too good with goodbye, so for now, I'm Jaslyn Brewster, and I'll see you later.
Thanks, Jaslyn. Looks like the Wharf Fest is the place to be next week. Now let's head out to the streets of San Francisco for our question of the week with Wenyi Dong.
Hi, what's your name and where are you originally from?
My name is John Benning and I'm originally from the Bay Area, East Bay.
I'm Jennifer. I'm from Shanghai, China. I'm here for touring.
If you are going to go a place in San Francisco, where would you go and why?
Up there to visit the East Bay, I would suggest Telegraph. It's a staple in the Bay Area and it's like a historical landmark.
I'd like to go Golden Gate because it's landmarks for in San Francisco, and I can travel to Sausalito for dinner.
Thank you, Wenyi. So many natural disasters lately. Here we have the Northern California fires. More recently, hurricane damage in Puerto Rico and Florida. And before that, Hurricane Harvey. People have lost their homes, professions, and loved ones. Now, a heartwarming story of how folks in the Bay Area are helping the smallest survivors of Hurricane Harvey. Ben Clegg has more.
Come on, doggy. Hurricane Harvey forced many to leave their loving pets behind. Thankfully, the Milo Foundation stepped up. The nonprofit animal rescue is bringing Harvey animals back to the Bay Area. Lynn Tingle is the founder of Milo and knows exactly how to help thanks to first-hand experience.
Washing and bathing and microchipping and vaccinating and all that kind of thing during Katrina, which was really a life-changing experience. The whole Katrina thing was horrible.
She says the rescue mission with Harvey is similar to Katrina. She isn't on the front lines this time, instead doing all she can to make sure the animals are healthy and find permanent homes back in the Bay.
A lot of them need fluids, they need basic kind of triage care and wound treatments and whatnot, skin. A lot of them have various, either ringworm or various contagions, so they have to get on meds for that.
Lynn and the Milo Foundation have done an excellent job at bringing these animals back to safety from Houston, but now this is where you come in. They need a permanent home, but look it, they're so loving, they would be an excellent addition to your family.
We expect to see another wave of rescues coming here from Houston. The 30-day hold period is up in the beginning of October. And more people have been surrendering every day, so we probably will take in some more in the near future.
62 dogs and 16 cats have been rescued in Houston by Milo to date. Over half have already found new homes. But like Lynn said, more and more animals are arriving and will need help. If you're interested in rescuing a cat or dog, go to milofoundation.org. In Point Richmond, I'm Ben Clegg for Urban Nights Update.
These pets are in desperate need of loving families to give them a new home. Go to milofoundation.org or visit the Adoption Center in Point Richmond to rescue an animal in need.
And that wraps up this edition of Urban Nights Update. For everyone here, thanks for joining us. I'm Luke Lacey.
And I'm Isaac Bauer. See you back next time.